And this is what Nick Fuentes says about the sympathy for that woman shot by the ICE agent. Honestly, if you have sympathy for that B word, you're not going to make it. Tucker's newsletter said, I don't care what side you're on. A woman was shot in the face, and that's a tragedy. No, it really isn't at all. When Charlie Kirk was shot and killed, these dirtbags publicly celebrated. When Trump was shot in the face, they publicly celebrated. These far-left activists are evil garbage. They want you dead, and they are actively working to destroy our country. There's no moral equivalence, and to say that this is partisanship obfuscates the truth. These people want your kids to have their genitals cut off. They want criminals loose in the country. They want open borders. This woman wasn't shot in a traffic stop. She was there with her quote-unquote wife to harass and impede federal immigration enforcement. You can see the look in her face, look in her and her girlfriend's eyes. These are typical liberal B-words who have never faced any accountability. They are so bold because they are used to getting their way in this society. This has to end. If they miscalculate, then good riddance. Yeah, so true. It is probably in bad taste to celebrate technically, but to be pouring out sympathy for this woman shows you are lost in the sauce. We are at war for the country. Get a grip. Our country is being invaded. Trump was elected to kick them out, and some pumpkin headed B-word is using her car, a lethal weapon, to exercise a veto over federal immigration law, the popular mandate in the president. She was told to leave the car and tried to speed away, hitting an ICE officer in the process. This isn't a game, actually. She was in the wrong and she paid with her life. Too bad. This is what is actually going to happen when the decent people of the country lay down the law. At some point, the rubber meets the road. In Minnesota, it was uncovered that these foreigners who shouldn't even be here are scamming the taxpayer out of millions of dollars. It is just and reasonable to get these people out of our country. This idiot B-word went out to jump in front of the police out of sympathy for the foreigners. There is no moral equivalency here. So true. So true. Everything Nick says here is correct. Where, yes, celebrating her death is in poor taste, but to pour out sympathy for this woman who was literally obstructing law enforcement from doing their job of getting foreign invaders out of this country. I'm sorry, yeah, it's not a game. This is not a Marvel movie. This is not a work of fiction. This is real life. And if you try to mess with law enforcement, if you try to run over and ram an ICE agent, if they try to tell you to get out of the car and you don't comply, there will be consequences. You can't just not obey the law and have there not be any consequences, okay? So spare me. I pray for her soul. I think it's sad that she died because I don't celebrate death. But at the end of the day, I'm not going out of my way to grieve her death. I'm not going out of my way to grieve her death because she effed around. She found out. She played stupid games. She's going to win stupid prizes. We can't have a country if we don't enforce the law. And we can't have a country if we don't have consequences for breaking the law and not complying with law enforcement. We can't have a country. Okay, so yeah, it's like she, in her own selfishness, made it worse for her children. It is not ICE. It is not ICE that caused this. Okay, it is her stupidity that caused this. That now her children are without her mom. So she didn't deserve to be shot for messing with law enforcement. She deserves to be shot for trying to hit an officer with her car. Yeah, and I'm not saying if you say mean things to law enforcement, you should be shot in the face. But yes, it was a clear act of self-defense. Clear act of self-defense. Kyrgyzstan, yes, it's poor taste, but what they see is not celebrations, but their own memes turn against them for a situation that was actually morbid. This is unfortunate, but she created the situation herself, yeah. And their children have hatred for ICE just because she was dumb. Yeah, she was stupid. She was retarded. And in her retardedness, she died. And then now her children have to pay the consequences for that, right?